Mind if I tell a story?
Go ahead, whatever story you like. És ezt a ventilátort lehet. Yeah, no latecomers. Oh.
Anyways, it's a lesson learned. I personally learned, that Prabhupada personally taught me. And to have a lesson personally taught by Prabhupada for my life is probably something that's, it's a rare event, because I didn't have that much association with Prabhupada. I saw him many times, but interacting exchanges were not manifest. And most of my service for all those years was service and separation. And like Shiva Maharaj and many other devotees, our service and separation in those years was by distributing his books. And book distribution was something which is particularly very difficult for me. But still, it was service. And I knew, as everybody did, that it was something that was pleasing to Prabhupada. But that's not the story. It's not connected with book distribution. It's connected with Prabhupada's visit to Boston. And Prabhupada visited Boston in 1971 when he installed Radha Gopi Vallabha. And he had another scheduled visit to Boston in 1975. In 1974, we had acquired a new building. And it was a very prestigious building. Still there, it's still our temple. But it was in a very prestigious area, surrounded by universities, 250,000 college students at the time. And it was, Prabhupada saw a picture of it and heard in 1974, and he heard about its location and about its potential from the then GBC, who I believe was probably Rupanuga. And as soon as Prabhupada heard everything and saw the picture, he said, I will go there next year. And we were informed about that. I was besides being a book distributor, I was a carpenter before I came to Krishna consciousness. So I used to be engaged in a lot of carpentry work in the temple. I fixed up the temple. I did a lot of work in 1974 to move Radha Gopi Vallabha there. And then after completing that work, I went back out on book distribution. But when Prabhupada gave a specific date of when he was going to visit the Boston Temple, then we realized that a lot of preparation, well, I didn't realize it, the temple president realized it. Temple president was Ajahn. He realized that there were a lot of preparations required for Prabhupada's visit. He wanted to build a new altar, and he wanted to fix up rooms for Prabhupada for his visit. And I was on book distribution at the time, And I got a phone call, and he said, I want you to come back to the temple. I was out traveling, distributing books. And he said, Prabhupada's coming in the summertime, and we have a lot of things to do to prepare for his arrival. I want you to come and prepare his quarters. I resisted. Which wasn't my nature. I was pretty submissive brahmachari. But I tried to give convincing arguments that if Prabhupada knew of the two options I had, he would want me out to distribute his books. So I tried to use that argument. And he said, well, why don't you just come back to the temple, we'll talk about it. So I came back to the temple, submissively. And when I got there, the first thing we did was we went up to 2 rooms on the second floor of this new building, which were, anyways, not in very good shape. So when he brought me in the room, he said, the temple president said to me, would you put your spiritual master in these rooms? So I said, I said, no, I wouldn't. So the next thing he said, what are you going to do about it? Because he knew I was the only person at that time in the temple who had these kind of capabilities for renovating and reconstruction and things like that. So he challenged me, what are you going to do about it? So I surrendered. And it was a very old building, and it had been destroyed. It was previously an apartment building, 10 apartments there. We had to knock down walls. And the building had mahogany wood, had redwood, had oak. It was really like it was
Classy.
Yeah, classy, exactly. It was a classy building. But you wouldn't know it because the former owners had it all painted, everything over. So I came up with the idea to restore Prabhupada's quarters to the original, and strip all the paint off and redo the floor and fix the ceiling, and I even created a bathroom, not a bathroom, a corridor into the bathroom so Prabhupada wouldn't have to go out the room. I worked for months. I did it myself. And during that time also, I had not met Prabhupada before. I'd never seen him personally. And one day the temple president said to me that we have to go pick up some marble in New York. And because I'm going to have you also help out with the altar. Ambarish Prabhu was there at the time. Prabhupada had sent Ambarish to Boston to open up a restaurant. And he had donated some Lakshmi for reconstruction and marble for the new altar. This is a kind of a side part of the story. I'll make this part short. But we drove down to New York to pick up marble, and then he said, first thing we have to do is we have to go to LaGuardia Airport. And I couldn't figure out why we're going to LaGuardia Airport. And when we finally got close to the airport, he said to me, actually, there's no marble. I said, well, what are we doing in New York? He said, Prabhupada's arriving. And he tricked me into going to New York. He didn't tell me the reason. Prabhupada did come. I got to see him for the first time. I was already twice initiated, but it was a very moving, of course. And it really gave me the injection I needed to do all the work to finish out Prabhupada's quarters. As here I was thinking some personal service. This is definitely some personal service for Prabhupada. And what to speak of, I had all these visions when Prabhupada's coming. Temple presidents are going to say, this is Nirañjana Das, your disciple. He fixed up these quarters for your Prabhupada. I was just envisioning me. Okay, when you're out distributing books, there's thousands of book distributors all over the world, but now Prabhupada's coming to Boston, and so I really had the inspiration to complete the work and go back out on book distribution, is basically the task that needed to be done. So I finally did complete the work, and I went back out on book distribution, waiting for Prabhupada's arrival. And Prabhupada, and Śrīla Maharaj will know this part of the story. Prabhupada was visiting, his itinerary was to go from Toronto to Montreal to Boston. And that was summer 75?
No, it must have been 76.
76?
Yeah, 75. He went straight to India.
I know. That's the story.
75.
Huh?
75.
Yeah. He was in Toronto, and Prabhupada got a telegram from Delhi, the Indira Gandhi. It was in Montreal? I thought he went to Montreal from Toronto, just stopped there, stayed for one day, and then he went off to Delhi. That's the way I had heard it. But anyways, either way, it's not so important. So Prabhupada got this message that Indira Gandhi was waiting to meet with him, or ready to meet with him. And so he postponed, he went to Montreal. He was supposed to stay there for some days, but I think he went there for the night and left the following morning.
No, never.
He never even stopped there.
No, he stopped. He came in the morning. I mean, I'll tell you, I was there all the time that he was there, except when he took a little nap after breakfast. But he came, and he got the telegram, and Brahmananda brought him the telegram, and he told them immediately, book flights.
Right.
So, afternoon, he was out.
That's right. And
so he never came to Boston. What's the lesson?
What's the lesson? Service and separation. Prabhupada never saw all the work that I did. And it was either like it was all for naught, or there has to have been some benefit from it. There has to have been some benefit, because all the whole time I was rendering that service, I was just meditating on Prabhupada's lotus feet. And the lesson learned was, make sure you're in the right consciousness when you're doing your service, otherwise the real benefits aren't really obtained. If everything that you think that you have to be done has to be personally seen and accepted and acknowledged and attention, but actually the real benefit comes from the consciousness in which we render the service. And I really kind of had to learn that lesson in separation, When Prabhupada, because 1975 he didn't come, then 1976 he didn't come. He never saw the Boston Temple. So, lesson learned. Service and separation. Then I went back out on book distribution.
Okay, now we should sing Śrīla Prabhupāda, and then from there go into Guru Vastakam. Can you play like this?
Yeah, I can if I can remember how to do it.
Huh?
If I can remember how to do it. Huh?
Remember how to do?
To play the both. I'm pretty sure I can. I just need to refresh my. I do need the words though.